Hello Darts Nutz, welcome to Darts Review channel. In this video I'm going to be reviewing the Mission Torus Professional Dartboard clamp, and as mentioned in my preview video, this was sent to me from Mission Darts and it's part of their 2022 launch. Now I was quite chuffed that they sent this actually, because I was planning on getting the Unicorn wall clamp, and the reason why is when I'm doing reviews I do switch the dartboards around quite often, so for me it's a perfect kind of thing to have. It fits any dartboard and it's got a spring-loaded arm on the top to make it easy to remove and replace the board or rotate it, but we'll talk about the features more in depth when I carry on with the video. Anyway, it's fairly weighty and I haven't actually opened the box yet. I know I did the preview video and I didn't open it on that, it was just a quick look. So I'm looking forward to trying this out, and this retails for £36.95, so let's check it out. Right then, so here we are, and this clamp has got built-in fixtures for the Torus lighting system. So if you've got a Torus 270 or Torus 100, it's already got the fitments to slot it straight in. It says spring-loaded toe clamp, fits any dartboard, wall mounted, easy to set up. So this is the first time I've had a look at it properly, so I hope you can see it all in the camera, because the camera is slightly above me now. I haven't opened that bit properly at the side, and a fair bit of weight to it like I said, so I'm guessing it's all metal construction. Right, so I guess that'll be the instructions. Yeah, got the wrong glasses on here, but it's contents: upright leg, part assembled, left and right legs, 8 Allen bolts, Allen key, attach the 2 legs to the upright as shown here. Skew the legs with the Allen key bolt. Yeah, it looks pretty straightforward. So, what's this? Right, so that's obviously one leg, and it is really solid construction, all metal. And there's another leg. And what's this bit here? I see. So very neatly packaged. So that obviously is the main part where the legs fit onto, and that top section is spring loaded, and that's where your Torus lighting system will slot in. And there's the bolts and the Allen key. So that's what you get in the box. Now I'll set it up. I think it's going to be pretty straightforward to set up, but what I might do is just quickly show you. I think it's self-explanatory basically. So that goes into there, and that goes into there, and that's basically it. And then obviously the bolts go in there, tighten that up and screw it into the wall. Now the only thing, doesn't actually come with anything to screw it into the wall by the looks of it. You can't see nothing, so I might as well just quickly set it up now, but I'll just have a see if I can get a zoom in there. You can see it's pretty thick metal. It looks maybe around about 2 mil, so very solidly constructed, and all you're doing basically is just putting these little bolts in, and that's just to keep the legs into that middle section. I'm doing this through the camera because It's the way I've got my camera set up, it's in my way kind of thing, so it's a little bit fiddly, but it's not straightforward. So the only thing is, it doesn't come with any raw plugs or screws to affix it to the wall. Quite often people tend to use their own anyway, and I have learnt from my own mistakes that it's usually a better idea for me to use my own, because the walls of my house have got quite thick plaster on them, so often they don't supply screws that are long enough, and they don't always go onto the wall very good, so I'm better off just using my own anyway. But I think what I'm going to do for the video, just for quickness, is I'm just going to see whether the bracket that I have on the wall already, whether I can just use the screw for that to go through the middle of this, because I'm guessing that when you set it up, this section is supposed to be in the middle of the board, so hopefully just a bullseye height. So that's that set up. So now I just need to fix it onto the wall. Right, as you can see, I've got it on the wall. I just laughing, the amount of things I've screwed into this wall, it's ridiculous. I mean, just look at all the things that I've been doing over the years. There's just holes everywhere. There's been soft tip boards on, various lighting systems, dartboard cabinets. So what I did is I just put that hole, I lined up that hole with one of the holes that was already there on the bracket, and it corresponds to the same height, so I've already checked it and it's the right height. And at first I thought I'll just go with the one hole, but that wasn't very feasible because a couple of reasons basically. One, this is fairly heavy, and obviously when you put your dartboard in it's even more heavy, but the fact is you got to put a fair bit of force in the top bit to get the board to line up, so just having the one screw in was no good at all. So as you can see, I put some screws in the right holes, but I used pretty long screws, so that's what I used because I wasn't going to take any chances. So I put long screws and long raw plugs in, and it all seems very solid. So what I'll do now is I'll just put the board up and show you how it works. Right, so if you've already got a board that's been on a wall, make sure you take out the middle screw because you no longer need that. You probably don't need the rubber supports as well, so all you do is get your board, hold it at a bit of an angle, push the top up because it's on a spring, and then put the bottom part in and then let it go down, and that's it. And if you need to adjust it, just lift it up a little bit and you can rotate it left or right. But there it is. So like I say, it's got the fittings for the Torus lighting system, but I just want to check to see whether you can put a surround on. Don't see why you shouldn't be able to. You may have to squeeze it over the legs a little bit, but yep, so you can still have a surround on it. And let's see, Torus 270. Now, if you've got a different lighting system, say you've got, can't see what I'm doing here. There you go. Say you've got, say, the Illumina or something different. I don't think the Illumina is going to fit on it. You may be able to manipulate the Illumina somehow, but I can't say for certain whether that would fit. But as you can see, the Torus 270 fits fine. as you would expect, because it's got the fittings there for it. So what I'll do next then, just for the sake of trying it, I'll try some different dartboards, because it did say it will fit any dartboard, so I'll do that now. Right, first of all, target Aspar. I think you have to give that a fair bit of a push to get up there, but as you can see, it fits and the clamps just hold it in place. No rocking or anything. So, right, next, got a blade 6. And again, I'm only doing it rough for setup just to see, and again, nothing's moving, so keeps it nice and steady. Right, next up we've got the Unicorn Ultra. Now I've just done a quick measure of the boards, and the Ultra is actually the thickest, and it's also the one with the biggest diameter, so I expect this one to be a bit fiddly. So you've got to give it a really good push up to get that spring right up, but it fits. So I thought I was going to struggle with that one, but again, perfectly solid. And you've got, I would say, there's my tape measure. It's probably 1.25 inches like air gap there, but obviously the metal arms are right up against the board. So what I'll do is I'll throw some darts at it and we'll see what it's like for noise. But I am quite impressed with how sturdy it feels, and I'm also even more impressed that it stayed up on the wall with my crappy DIY skills. Right, before I throw some darts at it, I'm just going to see if I can get a look behind the board. It's a little bit awkward like, but there you can see how close the arms are to the actual back of the board. Don't think I can get any better than that, but I'm thinking that air gap may act as a slight sound barrier. I know it's up against the metal arms, but we'll throw some darts and see how it sounds. Right, I'll just have a few throws and see if I can hear any difference. They all sounded quite equal, so I'll try the bottom of the board. Sounded ever so slightly quieter on that side, but I'll have a couple of more throws. There's parts of it that sound as if they're a little bit quieter, but it may not be that much in it. It almost sounds like a kind of a spongy thud instead of like a wooden kind of a thud like I think it was before. So maybe it has helped a little bit to quieten it down. So I'll do a wrap up now. So the Torus Dartboard clamp system, any good? Well, it is for me personally, I think. For somebody like me who's doing reviews and switching the boards quite often, it's a godsend basically, and it's why I was thinking about getting something like this anyway. And the actual clamp, it's well designed and it's also solidly constructed, and I like the idea it's got the little slots for the Torus lighting system, and also it takes any dartboard, so that's another good thing. And for me, you don't have to mess about putting things behind the board, trying to get it level and everything like that. It just keeps the board nice and solid. And it did sound like it was a little quieter, so that for me is the plus points. There's not really any negatives other than the fact that other than like people like me who are switching boards, I'm not sure what other people would need it for. And unless you just want a system that's going to really clamp the board very well, then yeah, go for it. Now, my biggest bugbear, and it's because I'm not very good at DIY, was getting the thing on the wall. Putting the clamp together, that was easy. Putting it on the wall, oh. In the words of Lou from Little Britain, it was the right kerfuffle. And in the words of me, it was a pain in the ass. And and the reason why is this old house has got walls that are not really straight. The plaster is nearly 1.5 inches thick in some parts, and the beds in the joints between the bricks is super thick in some parts, and the bricks are as hard as hell. So trying to get the thing drilled into the wall was a nightmare for me, but that's just me. So all I would say is, if you're not very good at DIY, I'm not very good at DIY, and I've managed it and it's still up. But if you're really, really bad at DIY, then if you haven't got someone else to help you, then it might not be a good thing to get for you. But other than that, it's great. And for the price, I don't think it's too bad at all. So there you go. That's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed watching it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. And I'll see you on the next one. Happy darting.